Hello everybody. In this video I'd like to talk about the acute, intense, severe, utmost, ultimate, I don't have words to express uttermost pain and ache that I possess, I feel within my heart, body, and soul because of the deteriorating relationship within my marriage and with the person whom I used to love and have affection for and care for such a long time, who has, for certain reasons known to herself, alienated completely herself from me, her husband, and how really shocked, dismayed, astonished, stunned, offended, and sort of amazed I am because how things developed for us and for me in particular. Now, the pain that I'm going through, as I think I happened to mention on one occasion in my previous videos, is it's very hard to describe emotional states and emotional conditions and psychological conditions, but I'm going to try to utilize words to at least attempt to convey the feelings and emotions and pain and heartache that I cherish deep within my heart and soul. I cannot hide that I'm really, really very disappointed of how things are developing and where they're heading. Please excuse me, because the emotional state that I am in, as I have already mentioned, is such as, my thought, I cannot arrange my thoughts out of order. They're not in order. I cannot arrange my thoughts properly so that I can lay them down in the video in the correct and proper manner. I'm sharing them with you as they come, and I want to apologize one more time for that. If there's one thing worse, I think, than a miserable, lonely, single person, that's a miserable, lonely, married person. And I think the irony is that no husband or wife marries with the intention of later on isolating him or herself or alienating him or herself from the mate. And I think most individuals believe, or most partners in a marriage believe that marriage is the cure for loneliness. But I'd like to warn you and to caution you that if you undertake such a step, uh, you may begin battling the dreaded foe of isolation and solitude and alienation, and possibly a conflict, a very big conflict, and then potentially a separation and potentially a very painful divorce as soon as you drove off on a honeymoon, so to speak. Um, Now that I know of no more potent killer than isolation. And unfortunately, no more destructive influence on physical, mental, and spiritual health than the isolation that a marriage can bring, and that an isolation that a partner can bring to his partner, in my particular case, my wife towards me. I remember it was a couple of months ago that my wife came into the kitchen and happened to tell me just out of the blue, make a suggestion. She said, uh, you know, why don't we start living like a brother and a sister? And then she left the kitchen and left me reflecting and thinking over what she may have meant by saying that and suggesting that. What does it mean for us to start living like a brother and a sister? The most logical conclusion that I can make is that she does not want to make love and have sex with me anymore. I cannot come up with a more logical conclusion because we are already living like a brother and a sister. I don't remember the last time we made love and had sex. We live pretty much like roommates, and we're probably still together for the sake of and because of our child. But that kind of living or sharing that space where we live together is more like roommates. We can be just anybody getting in touch with somebody to share an apartment or a house or a home with the purpose of reducing their monthly bills and no more, nothing else. So they would share an apartment or a house, and just live like complete strangers. I have made so many attempts lately for reconciliation, but it doesn't seem to work at all. Now, I am a very emotional person, and each and every, even small conflict between me and my wife, or friction, increases my anxiety, makes my mind even more hyperactive, brings more anger, rumination, worry. It's just worry about, are we going to continue like that, or is it time to draw the line finally? Because when you have a gangrene, you cannot treat gangrene with herbal tea, I think. And that if a gangrene or any other serious wound or infection or illness would be treated or should be treated, you need to really cut off that part of whatever part of the body it is in order to treat it, whether it be a tooth, limb, part of the limb, or a body organ, or whatever. You just need to really make an incision, cut it off, and just throw it out. Because if you just put superficial ointments on the gangrene, it will do nothing, but it will just develop and grow bigger and finally kill the whole body. So in this case, I was kind of debating with and within myself whether, and it's been for a long time, but I always wanted to give another chance for our marriage, and I always wanted to give another chance and another chance and another chance, and I exercised extreme kind of patience and goodwill and forgiveness, but it just so happened that things keep getting worse and worse. So I'm asking myself whether I should still continue living that way and intoxicating myself further and further because I want to keep my marriage for the sake of my child and also for our parents, because I think our parents would not like that their children separate and or potentially divorce. No parent, I think, would like that. So I'm thinking about our parents as well, because they also desire and like the best for the children and their grandchildren. And so this was what was going on through my mind lately. And I think I have approached a point where I need to make a very serious, irreversible decision regarding my future. And possibly and probably opening a new page in my life. Now, I don't know, I really do not know how long I still have to live. The stress and the problems, the anxiety and depression that all of that brought, and reflected on me in the recent years, particularly that negative stress, I think has negatively impacted my adrenal glands, which pump cortisol, adrenaline, noradrenaline, and all other kinds of stress hormones, and have been doing that for a very prolonged period of time. And then my immune system has been weakened so much, and that negative stress, that prolonged, extended time negative stress, I think could also impact or have impacted my heart and other organs of the body, including liver, kidneys, stomach, intestines, and whatever. So I'm taking into consideration that I don't know how much, and I'm a realist, I still have left, how many days, weeks, or months to live. And the answer to that question is not easy, but I probably need to make that decision as soon as possible and make it a final and irreversible decision. Thank you very much for watching, and do have a very nice day or a very good night, depending on which part of the world you're located. Until soon, bye.